All right. Welcome to Neuro-Movement for Parkinson's. My name is Stephanie Comella, and we're here with PD Active. Today we're going to be doing, as this class always does, some work on the floor. So make sure you have a good amount of floor space going on for you. And then something probably even a little bit more than a yoga mat, because we do some rolling drills and crawling drills. So you want to make sure you have a significant amount of space, clear out those coffee tables. We are going to be doing some footwork and foot stretching today. So you will need a small release ball, something about this size, a tennis ball, or sometimes a dryer ball works great for that. A lacrosse ball, sometimes people have. This one is a specific ball from Yoga Tune-Up, and it has just a nice soft, squishy structure to it that is a little bit forgiving, but definitely has some structure to it. We're going to start with that by, actually, let's do this. Start with that ball just on the floor, and we are going to start with a pre-class assessment, as we always do. Sometimes I forget, but we are going to start with that pre-class assessment. So go ahead and just stand where you're at and take note of your standing posture here. Notice where your weight distribution is between your 2 feet. Do you have more weight through the left foot or more weight through the right foot? Do you have more weight on the outside of the foot, or do you have more weight on the inside of the foot? So pinky side or big toe side of your foot. Just taking notes for yourself on what is your starting place? What's your baseline right now? What's your default? Go ahead and sway forward and backwards a few times. See how people coming in still. Sway forward and backwards, and notice your ability to weight shift into the forefoot and weight shift into the heels. And how far are you able to make that weight shift happen before you feel a sense of unsafety or feel the need to take a step forward or backwards? How far can you rock forward or backwards without moving your feet or falling? And if you feel safer doing this with a couch or a chair behind you, go ahead and make sure you're positioning yourself there. Just make sure you're staying on mute, everyone here, so that we don't get you on the recording that goes on YouTube. All right, go ahead and bend your knees a few times. See how that's feeling today. Are you feeling buoyant or rigid? And then separating your feet a little bit and moving your hips right and left. How is that feeling for you today? The looseness in your hips. Go a little bit wider in your stance than you think you need to, so that you have lots of room to move your hips. And start making those hips in big round circles. Again, noticing how that feels for you today. Switch the direction. Good. Awesome. Go ahead and place your hands on your thighs just above your knees here. I'm just going to turn to the side. And we're going to do a cat-cow variation here. We're going to round your spine, push the middle of your back up towards the ceiling, and then extend your spine, bring your eyes up and slide your heart forward, stick your booty out. Then we'll go around, tucking the tail in, dropping your head so that you're looking down between your heels. And then extend, lifting through your chest, opening up your shoulders. Round through your spine, tuck your head, separate your shoulders as much as you can, and then extend, open up your collarbones, widen your sit bones, those bones right underneath in your pelvis. Let's do that 2 more times. Round and extend. Good. Round and extend. From here, come into your rounded position. Let your arms dangle in the front of you and shake them out. Shake them out. Shake them, shake them, shake them, shake them, shake them. Yep, it looks silly. It looks silly. That's supposed to happen. Let your shoulders move. And then rock into the toes just a little bit more there. Start to straighten up your legs and roll yourself up into your standing position and pop your head up on top of those shoulders. We're going to shrug your shoulders up towards your ears. Let them open out behind you. Let them settle down your back. Shrug forward, up and around. Shrug forward, up and around. Now, if you had markers, like paint, like drawing markers, coloring markers, off the sides of your shoulders here, you'd be making big circles with those markers. Feel free to get your whole body into it, where we drop down, get up. How big of a circle can you draw with those shoulders? Yeah, getting your whole body in it. That's it. 2 more. Oh, I like it, Vaughn. He's bringing the shoulders in. Last one. Good. Let's take that left arm and reach it forward. Bring it up so that your bicep almost touches your ear. So closing that gap there. We're going to bring that arm behind us. Look behind you as you circle the arm through. Sweep it past your hip. Hips, we're going to stay on the same side. Rotate and reach behind you. Sweep forward. Good. See if you can swing that bicep as close to your ear as possible. Can you clip your ear with your bicep? Can you get that shoulder or the arm bone to come super close to your face? There you go, Bill. Nice job. Good. 2 more. Looking behind you each time. Last one. Beautiful. Switch to the other side. Right arm comes forward. Lift it up. See if you can get it close to your ear. Yep. Up and around behind you. Sweep it back. Good, good. Sweeping up and around. And of course, especially at the beginning of class, all of our warm-up exercises and movements are sort of a way for you to assess how your body is feeling and how your body is moving today. Okay, so take all of the warm-ups, especially the warm-ups, as sort of a self-assessment, and we'll come back at the end of class and do a few of these just to see if things have changed. Okay. All right, let's walk around the room and do a little gait assessment. So noticing how your walking is. If walking around the room is a little challenging, you can always walk in place too. But if you can stride out, that's even better. And a few things to take note about your gait, because it's hard to think about your gait if you're like doing it all the time, but some things to consider: your stride length. How far of a step do you take? Where you land in your gait. Do you land on your heel? Do you land in your forefoot? Maybe how your gait sounds. Does it feel loud? Does it feel shuffly? Sound shuffly? Yeah. Notice if you need to look down at your feet, or can you look forward? What's your inkling there? Do you feel like you need to look down at where you're going, or can you look up? And then also notice if you have any sort of natural arm swing going on, that will indicate hip rotation, which I feel gets quite lost in those with advanced Parkinson's. Okay, so getting those hips to rotate. All right, those were a lot of points to consider. Just pick 1 or 2 that you want to note for yourself, and then we'll double back at the end of class and see if any of that has changed. Okay, let's get into some foot mobility and work here. You will need that release ball that I mentioned at the beginning of class. If you have trouble balancing, please use a chair or put your hand on the wall so that you can actually get into the work of this foot release, and you don't have to worry about balance. I'm going to bring the camera down just a little bit so that you can get a better view of what I'm actually doing at my foot. Okay, we've done this one several times. It's just been a while. So we're going to take this ball and we're going to place it pretty much directly in underneath your foot. So it looks kind of like that. And we're just going to do a smash. So we're just going to smash that ball under different areas of the foot. Yep, putting weight through it. And you can see this ball that I have, again, like I said, it's a little bit squishier. It's kind of forgiving which is nice for the nervous system. The nervous system doesn't enjoy really hard, painful things. Just more soothing and allowing pumping of fluid. Yeah. Go ahead and spend a little extra time pumping a spot that needs some extra love. And then let's place that ball right near the bottom of your foot. Sorry, the ball of your foot, under the ball of your foot, and allow your toes to just drape over the top of that. And in that position here with your ball, you may see that you start to have knuckles, just like you would on the top of your hand here, knuckles in your foot. And that's kind of where you want that ball to be. And then go ahead and just put weight through that, trying to allow those knuckles to come up, and then shift your weight off of it. And then shift onto it, allow those knuckles to come up and shift off of it. Now, with those toes, we're going to try to lengthen your toes and let them drape over the ball. So not like squeezing the ball here with your toes, but trying to lengthen them over the top. Yeah. Good. Maybe one more time there. Great. We're going to take that ball down just a little bit. Now I have weirdly flexible toes, so yours may not look like this, but basically we're going to try to get that ball to be under the bottom, kind of snugged up. Get even closer, snugged up to the big toe, the head of the big toe, metatarsal joint. And we're trying to get this stretch for the big toe in this direction, which is a requirement for a really good push off and gait. So we're trying to get that range of motion. Now, work to get whatever range that's available for you there. And then we're going to activate. So I want you to push your big toe down into your ball as if you're pushing a button with your big toe, and then release that tension. Push the big toe into the ball and then release. Good. Push and release. Push and release. We're going to do that 4 more times. Not super fast. Getting a little bit of a sustained contraction there. Good. And when you're pushing, you may also feel yourself get a little bit of an arch there, some intrinsic foot activation. Good. We'll do that 1 more time. Great. Now take that ball and just briefly allow the other toes to stretch back. Kind of working through the other 4 toes in that direction. I got quiet because this one was a little tender. The work is never done, right? Great. All righty. This one you may want to hold on to something. You're going to move that ball off to the side. Just make sure my foot is still in the window. It is. Okay, great. So right here, we're going to take our toes behind us and see if we can roll the toenails down onto the ground. And you're going to rock your big toe, rock your foot to big toe to pinky toe. Yeah. And if you want more aggressive stretch, you're just going to curl your heel back further. Again, this is sort of getting you the knuckles to show up there. Good, and rocking maybe 1 or 2 more. And then go ahead and stomp that out. Just stomping on the ground. All righty. Before we move on to the other side, just stand here with both feet on the ground, and see if you can notice a difference between the left foot or the foot that you just worked and the foot that you have yet to work. Close your eyes if you need to increase that sensation and awareness. Sometimes people describe, the one that we just did, sometimes people describe that as flatter, more alive. Your coloring may be different, even. And then let's go ahead and do that whole thing on the other side. So grabbing your ball. And of course, this series, you can, once you kind of get the gist of it, you can speed this up pretty good. But this is such a great one to do in the morning while you're waiting for your coffee to brew, or, underneath your desk while you're reading the newspaper. You can play with the ball, checking emails. All right, so again, the first one, if you didn't already catch it, the first one is just the ball smash. So pushing, smashing the ball in different areas of your foot. You can spend a little extra time on those spots that are feeling a little bit more tender, that need a little bit more love. And then we'll go ahead and finish with that ball right underneath the metatarsals there, the ball of your foot. Allow your toes to drape so that you can start to see some of the knuckles come out on the top of the foot. We're going to put some pressure there on those knuckles and then drift off. Put the pressure and then drift off. Yeah. And why are we spending so much time on feet today? Well, the honest truth is that my feet were feeling tight. But the feet are always a great place to work because if you're working on improving your gait, your feet are the ones articulating with the ground. So when your feet have a better perception of the ground, you're going to have better balance. You'll have better push off and more integration, even just through your like thigh muscles and hip muscles. But also when we're connecting our brain all the way down to our feet, we've sort of inherently created this line of communication from our brain all the way to the very end of our body. So anytime that we're doing an exercise down on the floor in a bit, we're going to have that line of communication open all the way to the feet. So we can get the whole body working for us. All right, let's go into that big toe stretch. Here, I can spin around. This one can be kind of tricky, especially if your ball kind of keeps getting like spat out. If you need to do this against a wall, you can kind of like wedge the ball against the wall and then have your foot there. So we're going to be here, we're going to go 10 times pushing the big toe into the ball. So push 10 and release. 9. And again, you're getting this intrinsic foot activation in your arch. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice job. Go ahead and work through the other 4 toes. My pinky toe always needs a little bit extra. Giving you all of that range of motion, so you have so much range to push off from when you're walking. All right, and then let's do the dorsum stretch, top of your foot stretch. Holding on to something if you need to. We're gonna have those toenails down, rolling from pinky toe to big toe. And if you need to, so having your foot further back is gonna help you probably get more on your toenails. Try not to be on the toes like this. That's not really what we're going for. We're trying to get the top of the toes stretch. So make sure your toenails, you're trying to get your toenails to face down on the ground. And then you can make it more aggressive if you want by trying to pull your heel back. And again, I have weirdly flexible feet in this orientation, so they probably don't look like this, but that's kind of what you're striving for. You can bring your foot, I didn't say this on the other side, but you can bring your foot a little bit closer to the other and work on some ankle mobility too. See ballerinas do this all the time. Good. All right, and then before we come down onto the mat, let's have you just do a quick assessment on your feet there. Does one side feel, does that side that you just worked, does that feel different now than the side that you just did? Maybe it feels even just a little bit more enhanced than the original side. Noticing flatness, noticing color change. Good? All right, take a little lap around the room so that you can feel that change in foot mobility in your gait. Wow, I definitely feel more of the roll through. So getting the foot to, right, Carrie, articulate on the ground, like rolling from heel all the way off to the toe, as opposed to being like a flat footed. So maybe you can feel that. That's what I felt. You may also hear that quality in your gait as well. A little bit softer. Okay. If you felt a change, give me a thumbs up. No change, sideways, negative change, thumb down. All right, let's make it down onto the ground for some floor work for the second half of class. All right, you can get rid of that ball for now, out of the way. We're gonna start our floor section the same way we always do. So if you get down there early, before the rest of the team, you can start laying on your back with your feet flat and just letting your knees go from side to side. Now, if you want constructive feedback on your movement today, there's this kind of battle between being able to see your movement and you being able to see me, right? So if you want that constructive feedback, try to find the balance between that. Bill, give me a thumbs up if you're good. Okay, good, thanks. All righty, I think everyone's just about there. Go ahead and bring your arms out to the side if you haven't already. We're gonna let the knees fall over to the right. Turn your head and shoulders over to your left. I'm sorry, head and eyes to your left. So opposite of your knee. And swing the knees over to the left, eyes and head go right. Opposite of your knee. Good, switch. So we're getting the full spiral, the full rotation all the way from pelvis to head. Some systems we call that your tail. Maybe head to tail. 2 more here. And last one. Good, good. Bring those feet a little bit closer together so they're directly off of your sit bones. If you don't know what your sit bones are, take your fingers and touch them. They're basically the bony part right underneath your butt cheeks. You should know where your sit bones are. And if you already do, go ahead and just feel them just to bring that awareness back into play. Good. All righty. So we know where our sit bones are. Our heels are directly off our sit bones. We're going to go palms facing up. Press your hips up into your high bridge. And then lower your hips back down to the ground. Very simple hip bridge. We're just going up and down to start. Now, as you're doing your bridges, try not to look over at the screen when you're up in your bridge. So if I make a change, make sure that you are out of your bridge when you watch the change, okay? Otherwise, just listen to my auditory cues. Press your hips up towards the ceiling.
And we're gonna hold there. Take your right hip and drop it down towards the mat. Press the hip up towards the ceiling, then bring your left hip down towards the mat and push it up towards the ceiling. We're gonna alternate. Right hip drops down, but we keep some space off on the left side. Push to level out. Left hip drops down, and then push to level out. Very nice. Now, as you're working through these hip rotations, try to keep your knees roughly working towards one another. So there's a little squeeze. And your knees are still facing the ceiling, so don't let your knees drift off to the side as you're going through these rotations. Keep it very tight in the axis. We're gonna go for 2 more there. Yep, and last one. Beautiful. Articulate your spine down towards the mat, release your tail at the bottom. We're gonna take your left foot, slide it behind the right heel so that your thigh comes down to the ground. We did this last week, yeah? Replace your foot back to where it came from. Right leg threads behind the left ankle. The knee is going to come all the way down to the mat. So there's a stretch on that inner thigh and hip flexor. Replace the foot. Alternating between the left side threading behind the right ankle and the right foot threading behind the left ankle. Okay, that's the movement. Go at your own pace as you're working through it. Good. Now, if you want to level, add a level to this. We're going to thread the leg through and you're going to bridge the hip slightly. And then replace the hip down, level out your feet. So for example, it would go left leg threads behind the right ankle. Push through your right foot to get a little bit of a bridge, a booty lift on the right side. Yeah, and your knee should still be reaching up towards the ceiling. Carry, nice work. Bring the hip down, replace the foot. Thread, little bit of bridge, lifting off. You should feel some rotation in your trunk, little stretch, trying to keep those shoulders flat on the mat. Return, okay? So there's 2 layers there. There's just the thread, and you can add that bridge if that feels right for you today. We're gonna do that 3 more times-ish, depending on how quickly or slowly you're working. Yep. Squeeze, feel the rotation in your spine. Last one. Good, and release here. Go ahead and slide those legs out all the way and dorsiflex your feet, meaning top of foot towards shins. Top of foot towards shins. Place your hands behind your head so that you're creating a little basket for your head. Elbows are out to the side. Right here, we're going to keep the feet dorsiflex. Take your eyeballs down your cheekbones. Draw your head off the mat and look down at your toes. You're like, okay, and then let's wiggle those toes and feel a little bit of abdominal work that happens when we add this little curl up. Release back down. Point your toes in contrast. So we're going to go from one extreme to the other. Flex your feet. Eyes look down, chin curls up, feel a little chest lift, the trunk lift. Release your trunk lift, point your toes in contrast. Flex your feet, eyes go down, curl up. Release back down, point the feet in contrast. Flex your feet again, eyes come down, curl up. Yes, and release down, point your toes. We're going to do this one more time. Flex the feet, eyes go down, curl up. And release back down, point your feet in contrast. Take your arm that's closest towards me and bring it up past your ears so it's long on the mat. We're going to roll over onto your side so that you're rolled towards me. And I'm going to say the towards me arms. All right, so we're now laying on our side, facing towards me. This bottom arm is now a pillow for yourself. If that doesn't feel right for you for whatever reason, grab an actual pillow so that your head is in line with the rest of your spine. Top hand is going to come down on the mat. You can have spider fingers here. Flex both feet, please, and hold them in a flexed position. We're going to lift and lower your top leg. Lift and lower your top leg. So simple, right? A little Jane Fonda. Make sure that you're keeping your foot flexed and you're reaching your heel out. You're reaching your heel out. Now, can you imagine that your top leg is longer than your bottom leg? Always, even when it's coming down, your top leg is longer. Up, top leg is longer. Up, top leg is longer. Yes, that's going to keep the energy going out through your foot. That's what we talked about, right? When your foot is engaged and your brain is all the way through your foot, the whole body's going to work harder. Let's go 2 more there. And last one. Beautiful. Bring that knee forward all the way. We're going to take this top arm and reach forward as well. Pinwheel stretch. This top arm is going to come up. It will pass the other hand. So if you want to give yourself a high five, go for it. Otherwise, roll through it. And we're coming into that stretch where your leg almost on your back. This leg is still great. Oh my gosh, should feel really nice. As you bring the arm past your hips, we're going to look up as the hand comes past the hips and then reach it through. Stretch forward all the way. The front part of your shirt should be touching the ground. Sweep around, give yourself a high five, sweep it back. Take a moment on the back side of that stretch where you're open up towards the ceiling. This leg is still draped. Hand comes past, lift up and around. Here we go, big stretch. High five, sweep open, curl up, sweep, high five, open, curl up. 2 more, sweep open, and release. Nice job. Replace your head on that bottom arm. We're going to bring your hand back in front of you. Top leg's going to stretch back where it came from, and then dorsiflex your feet. So lots of activity going on in those feet, yes? Okay, we're going to take this leg and externally rotate it, meaning the thigh rotates open towards the ceiling. We're going to point your top foot only, drag that toe up the inseam of your pants. This is called Peter Pan. Kick your leg up towards the ceiling. Here's the choreography. We're going to flex the foot now and stretch it longer than the bottom leg. Still an external rotation. Point the foot, drag it up, kick, flex, and reach. Got it? Point, draw, kick, flex, reach. Nice. Big dynamic movement for those hips. And we're really conscious about what that foot is doing. Get the ankle mobility and the ankle work in there. Pull, lift, kick, flex, and reach. Nice job. We got points. Drag, kick, flex, and reach. 2 more. Point, pull, kick, flex, and reach. Last one. Point, pull, kick, flex, and reach. Nice job. Use your top hand to float both legs in so that they come into fetal. Good. Push yourself up. We're in this side sit sort of mermaid thing going on now. All right, we still have both hands on the ground. All right, we're going push up and press through. We've been working on these almost every week, right? Elbows are narrow. We're going to go from about 6 to 10 repetitions, depending on how quickly you move. I'm going to say this is 4 for myself, and I'm going to go for a medium of 8 repetitions. If you're quick, strive for 10. If you're a little slower than me, strive for 6. Right? Good. I've got 2 more. And last one. Good. Nice work. Take the hand that's closest to me. We're going to stretch it forward. Good. Can you stretch it forward more? Can you stretch it forward more? Should give you some rotation, and that's fine. Reach that arm up and circle it behind you. Sweep it down towards your hip and stretch it forward and across. It's the same thing that we did on the mat, right? Same thing. Just the up level version of pinwheel. Sweep. Yes, good. And if this doesn't work for you, just go on the mat like we did pinwheel earlier. One more time. Good. We're going to take your next pinwheel and place the hand down on the ground behind you. So it's going to come into a crab.
So hand comes back and we roll onto our bums. We're gonna get the other side, don't worry. Go ahead and pat out your feet here so that you're active and aware of your foot, feet, both feet in the exercise. Go ahead and walk through your hands a bit as well, figuring out which orientation of your fingers or your hands and your shoulders feels good on your shoulders. And maybe take yourself into the stretch in one direction for just a moment and then be like, okay, that's a stretch, but I don't know if I can work there. And then you're just gonna go back to where it feels better. All right, pick a spot that feels good to do some tabletop bridges in. Again, engaging through those feet, shoulders out of your ears, push through the heel of your hand. We're gonna hover the hips up. Yep, can you hover up higher? Can you hover up highest? There we go, and then down. Good. Hover up to the top, and then hover up a little bit more. Right, because maybe your perception of what your highest is isn't actually the highest, right? Okay, so we're gonna go halfway up, all the way up, and then a little bit further. There you go, Carrie, nice job, and then down. Here we go, hover halfway, hover all the way, and then a little extra, and then down. Perfect, 2 more. We go halfway, Alana, looking good. All the way, and then that extra bit, and down. Last one, we go up. We go all the way to the top, and then we go that extra mile, and then all the way down. Nice job. Now, we're gonna swing those legs around so that you're still facing me, and we're gonna lay down on the mat so that we are now on the side that you did not do. Are we there? Okay, top arm is making the pillow. I'm sorry, bottom arm is making the pillow, top arm is spider fingers on the mat. Dorsiflex both feet, and we're gonna lift and lower your top leg. Good, just lift and lower, nothing crazy. And then when we remember, oh yeah, when I dorsiflex my foot, I'm more connected through the whole body. The whole leg is gonna work for me rather than just the Jane Fonda like hip movement. Notice the difference. This is me thinking about moving my hip. This is me thinking about moving my heel. Okay, different, right? The whole line gets engaged. Try to make your top leg longer than your bottom leg. All the way through. We're gonna go for 2 more. And last one, yeah, it gets a little smoky. Bring the knee in. Top arm's gonna stretch forward. Spiral it up. Give yourself a high five on the way. Rotate open towards the ceiling. Oh my gosh, big stretch. Curl the head and shoulders up, sweep around. Stretch forward. Stretch up, give yourself a high five and open towards the ceiling. Curl the head and shoulders up when you come across around. There you go, stretch forward, make sure that you get all the way, chest facing down. Feel like eating the ground at this point. And then up and around. Oh, I finally got this crack that I've been just searching for this whole time. Good, one more time here. And spiral, nice job, and bring it in. Top leg's gonna stretch back where it came from. Top arm for stability, bottom arm for pillow. Dorsiflex both feet to start. Bottom one's gonna stay dorsiflex, the top one's going to externally rotate and point. All right, make sure that when you externally rotated, you moved your thigh bone, not your hip. Okay, move your thigh bone. We're gonna draw up the inseam of your pants, kick up towards the ceiling. Here's the ankle choreography. Flex the foot and then go down. Point, drag up, kick, flex, and lower. Point, pull, kick, flex, and lower down. Nice job. Point, pull, kick, flex, lower. Nice job. Point, pull, kick, flex, and lower. You got 2 more.
Do you have the choreography with the ankle? You got all that complexity in there? Yeah, last one. And lower, nice job. Hand comes down, we're gonna float both legs and pull the knees in. Push yourself up. Both hands are still on the mat. Good thing I remembered this whole sequence, huh? Yeah, push-ups. Anywhere between 6 and 10 push-ups, depending on your speed and level today, okay? I'm gonna go for 8. We're gonna go down and up, full range of motion. Peck the ground with your nose. Boop the ground. Yeah, 3, 4, chest up, 5. I shouldn't count out loud. Some of us are going at different paces. Yeah. I've got 1 or 2 more. Finish up your last couple reps. Good, nice job. From there, top end's gonna, hand that's closest to me, top hand. Hand that's closest to me is gonna stretch forward. You should feel some rotation in your trunk, okay? Trunk meaning like your torso. I hope that's clear. Not your car trunk. Stretch the arm up and around, rotate. Sweep past your hips. Stretch it forward on the ground. Can you reach in a further spot than you did last time? Lift up, circle around, push through the heel of the hand that's still on the floor. And reaching forward, good. Can you stretch to a different place on the mat? Lift, up and around. You got it. Stretching, stretching, stretching. Push. 2 more. And last one. Good. Transition yourself into that crab position. You're gonna just roll onto your hips now. Hands are behind you in a back prop. Good. Start walking your hands around. If you get there early before the rest of the crew, start feeling that out, stretching the different orientations of your shoulders. Harry reminded me that I'm supposed to be giving you water breaks. Grab water whenever you need to. That's why we have these little transition times. All right. So for right here, we're going to be in this crab position. We've got 5 points on the ground. Yes? 4 limbs and your booty. We're going to bring your left arm up past your ear. Say hello. We've now transitioned from 5 points on the ground to 4 points, which makes us less stable. Somewhere along the line, we have to pick up that slack. Okay, whatever work this arm was doing, that needs to now be supported by your core. Bring your hand down. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. Reach the arm up. Now, if you're smart, your body will just shift more, right? It'll just shift. You're like, oh, what's the big deal? I don't see what's the difference here. However, if we want to try to keep ourselves strong and steady, when you release an arm, try not to shift. So the legs of the table stays flat, the hypothetical table, when you remove a leg, okay? You may start to feel that the opposite leg gets lighter, and you can start to kick that out as well. So can you do opposite arm and leg kick? And still feel the lift through your core and the crown of your head. Yeah? Good, 2 more. And last one, whichever layer worked for you. Beautiful. Crisscross applesauce the legs or cross-legged. Come into a nice seated position here. It doesn't matter which leg's in front. We're gonna do both sides in a second. Forward fold stretch. Reach your arms full all the way forward. Oh my goodness, this feels good on my hips. And bringing it up, place your hands behind you. We're gonna kick one leg out, the other leg out. One leg in, other leg in. See if you can do crisscross applesauce with the other leg in front. Stretch forward. I guess we're not in preschool. Crisscross applesauce, cross-legged. Whatever resonates. Sometimes our childish brains come out and that's a better cue. I don't know. Bring it back. We're gonna go out, out, and stay out. Okay, stay out. Flex and point your feet here. Just getting you a little bit more back to the edges of your feet.
Yep, 2 more. Last one. Go ahead and step yourself back into your crab position here. So we've been working on under switch, yeah? I know we're right at the end of class. We're gonna take your right foot, kick it out in the air and give it a little flex point. Thread it behind the other ankle and let that knee drop down. So if that was your right foot that just threaded backwards, yeah? We're gonna take your left arm and reach it up towards the ceiling. Replace the hand down, replace your foot back where it came from. Left foot threaded behind. Left foot threaded behind. Right arm come up towards the ceiling. Good, and then return. Can you sort of do it at the same time? So if you were to thread and lift all at the same time? Yeah, good. And if not, take it in pieces. Okay, go at your own pace. We're just going to alternate from right to left. Some of you might want to go faster than me. Some of you are going a little bit slower than me. Again, no big deal. It's all about timed effort. Yeah, 2 more. Good. Finish with your right leg threaded and left arm up. So do another rep if you need to, but right leg threaded, left arm up. We're going to push through those feet to help you roll over to the right and come onto hands and knees. There you go. Yeah, don't overthink it, just roll. Now do what you need to do, whatever you need to do to come back into your crab. Let's do the other side. Left leg threads under, right arm comes up, roll to the left as you come into hands and knees. And then unravel, reverse, do what you need to do in order to get back to your crab. Okay? Let's do that right leg thread, left arm up, roll to the side of the leg that's threaded through. Roll to the side of the leg that's threaded through. There you go. If you feel like you're breakdancing, you're doing it right, yeah? And then reverse it. If you can have the brain to reverse that, come back to your crab. Otherwise, just get back to crab any way that you want. Yeah, there you go, Susan, nice. Left leg threads, right arm comes up. Rotate to the side that your leg is threaded, okay? So it's like that. There it is, nice. And then coming back the same direction, so just hit the rewind button, thread through. Yeah, one more time each side. Right leg threads, left arm goes up. Go to the right, hands and knees. Yeah. Come back the same way you came, little rewind button. Left leg threads under, right arm comes up. Rotate and thread. Nice job. From here, stay in your hands and knees. So orient yourself to face me if you need to switch around. Separate your fingers as wide as you can go. Get those toes to tuck under. We did a bunch of that stretching earlier. Should be ready for you. Sit the hips back so that the sit bones come over your heels. Your eyes should be forward. This is not child's pose. It will be in a loaded beast, this is called. So a little bit more amped and ready to go. Shift your weight forward into your wrists. And if you have space, drop your hips down and bring your eyes up. So a little cobra stretch. Keep the feet ready. Sit the hips back. Widen your sit bones. Eyes are up. Shift the hips forward, extend through and lift through your spine. We're going to go for 3 more. Shift back, shift forward, hips up, eyes up. 2 more, shift back, shift forward. And last one, shift back and shift forward. Beautiful, nice job. Shift back all the way. All right, we're going to go advanced move, just come all the way up to a stand. You can do it any way you want, but I will show you just this pathway, this transition pathway for today. We're going to pike up into an A-frame or a down dog. Walk your feet in. Keep your weight forward on your toes and roll yourself up like a zombie. Keep your weight forward on your toes and roll yourself up like a zombie. Very nice. Walk around the room, see how you feel. Take note. So observing your own gait, feeling your own gait from the beginning, that component of your gait that we took note of at the beginning, your stride length, how your gait sounds, where do you step in your gait? Do you need to look down or can you look forward? And then maybe even if you notice your arm swinging, which indicates hip rotation, which is a good thing, especially with Parkinson's. All right. Bring it on back to the center of your space. Take a moment to just feel your static posture here, quote unquote static posture, never actually static. Notice where on your feet you like to bias your weight, your center of gravity. Are you on your right foot or your left foot more? Are you forward, backwards? Are you on the inside of the foot or the outside of the foot? Or are you kind of like visiting all of those quadrants and swaying in and out? That postural sway is really healthy. It's the ability for us to absorb forces and redistribute them and pass them through our body. When we have stagnation, that's where we sort of get halted and tripped up, okay? So the ability to let things come in and flow out through postural sway. Start to shift forward and back, bend your knees, sway side to side. These are all things we did in our warm-up. How does it feel now in comparison to the beginning? Rolling the shoulders. And backstroke. We'll do 3 on each side, rotating behind you. 1, 2, look behind you when you rotate. Bicep comes to your ear. 3, switch sides. Bicep to your ear. Good, and last one. Beautiful. Take a deep breath in, reach the arms up towards the ceiling. Inhale through your nose, and then shimmy shake all the way out. Get all the rest of your jiggles out. Nice work, team. I'm going to turn off the recording. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know.